Welcome to Yavapai News and Views. I'm your host, Kate St. Clair. Wouldn't it be compelling if our students could go to a school where the emphasis was on living, building character and leadership? Wishful thinking? Not exactly. There actually is a place just like that, and it's right here in our own community. Today we're going to learn about the Orme School of Arizona, the oldest boarding school in Arizona. Stay with us. Our guest today is Alyce Brownridge, the head of school for Orme School of Arizona, Arizona's oldest boarding school. Alyce began her tenure at Orme School 23 years ago as a math and chemistry teacher. She's then proceeded up through the ranks and left her valuable input in the organization until today. As of 3 years ago, she became head of school. Thank you, Alyce, for joining us.
Thank you, Kate, for having me.
I think it's safe to say that in today's environment, most of us understand the traditional public education system. Even the new homeschool environment is something which has become much more familiar. But the boarding school concept is something that we may not know very much about at all. And the Orme School, even though it's been here since 1929, may actually be the best kept secret in Arizona, maybe even beyond. Alyce, tell us about how the Orme School was founded.
Well, you're right, Kate. I meet many people in Yavapai County and in Prescott who have never heard of the Orme School, and that's in spite of its long history of raising students and in an independent school environment. Its founding is a fascinating story. In 1929, Chick and Minna Orme moved from Phoenix, Arizona, where they were ranching, to purchase a homestead north of Cordes Junction off Ash Creek. They had 3 children at the time, and there were a number of children for the local ranch hands as well who needed an education. So they decided to do that themselves and started a small one-room schoolhouse where they could offer an intimate education for their children and the local neighboring ranches. They both were educated at Stanford, so they knew a number of people from their days in California who were interested in that same education. So they advertised, and eventually this small one-room schoolhouse grew to become what it is today with 130 students. In the 1940s, their oldest son, Charlie Orme, became the what's called the founding headmaster, because he began to be in charge of the school and truly to build it into the international school that it is today. He fundraised and advertised, and the small school with several buildings became one with nearly 100 buildings and a larger population, going all the way from kindergarten to 12th grade.
So 130 students, K through 12, and the campus is just north of Cordes Junction off of I-17.
Yeah, exactly. Originally, of course, there was no interstate, but now it is just a couple of miles off I-17, 5 miles north of Cordes Junction.
So tell us about the campus itself.
The campus is nestled next to Ash Creek and underneath some beautiful mesas. Our neighbors are the Orme Ranch and a lot of national forest land. So we are in a secluded, beautiful, open vista location where students are safe and secure. The campus itself is about 300 acres and, and includes almost, as I was saying, 100 buildings. From faculty homes to dormitories to classroom buildings, a very beautiful library and sports facilities, including a gym, baseball field, softball field, large expansive horsemanship area, which we call the Up Top because it's up on a mesa right next to the campus.
Okay.
And in a way that only a rustic ranch environment can be. Its beautiful buildings have been built over many years, and they are, as I was saying, rustic ranch style, and with big open ceilings and vaulted beams and basalt rock from the neighboring
Sounds
creeks.
exquisite. So this sort of actually started like a homeschool, in its initiation, and now it's a full-blown boarding school. What's the mission statement of Orme School that makes it unique as a boarding school?
Orme is truly about educating the whole child, and so we prepare our students for success in college and in life. And to do that, we offer the whole range of academic programs that you would expect in order to have a student graduate from high school and move on to thrive in any college in the country. But also beyond academics, for us, it's truly about growing students, their character, their independence, their love for the environment, for the arts, and their mission to become global citizens to truly make a difference in the world.
Wow, that's an amazing environment for a small school of 130 students. Are all of the students full-time boarding students there?
Of our 130 students right now, about 100 of them are full boarding students or 5-day boarding students. We have 2 boarding programs. You can be a full-time boarder and stay there throughout the year, except of course for the holidays in the summer, or you can be a 5-day boarding. That's a new program for us, which is very successful, very popular, and students can be at Orme for the 5 days of the school week and then go home on the weekends. And that,
I presume those are more local kids then.
it is. Those tend to be students in Arizona, of course, from either Yavapai County, from Prescott, or even from Phoenix.
And are there day students that just come in for the day?
That's
as well?
right. That's for the remainder of the students, the about 30 or so that are day students, they will be transported either from Prescott, Dewey-Humboldt area, from northern Camp Verde, Cottonwood, and Sedona, and we even have students and transportation all the way from northern Phoenix.
And how do these kids get back and forth to school every day?
Well, a number of ways. Some of them will prefer to drive themselves, some will carpool, but we also offer transportation and quite an extensive van and bus transportation system for those students.
And where do all of your boarding students that are there, full-time boarding, where do they come from?
They come from all over. They come from Prescott, from Arizona, from the Native American tribes in the state. They come from 15 different states in our country and 11 different countries this year. 11
foreign countries outside of the United States. So that means you have language issues. I mean, English as a second language takes on a whole new meaning when you're talking about 11 different countries and languages. How do you deal with that?
That's a good question. English as a second language is an important program for us, for those students who come generally from either the European countries or the Asian countries where they have learned English, but they're not proficient in it so that they can be successful at an American university. That being their goal, they come to Orme and initially are enrolled in an ESL program, which is run for a small group of about 20 or so students who are immersed in English in their second and third years at Orme rather than their first year.
Wow. Now these kids that come from foreign countries, do they go home for holidays?
They do, generally.
And how does that transportation work?
Our transportation is a very complex program, and it's run by a transportation director. Stephanie Hamilton does a wonderful job.
Who's a staff member.
Exactly. And she arranges for all of our students to get safely to and from either to the airport or to their homes in Prescott and Phoenix. And on holidays, most of our students will go home, but occasionally some cannot because
how do they spend their holidays?
Well, we'll take care of them. We are a community and we're homes for them. And a lot of our students will think of us very much as home. And they're sad to leave. They're happy to come back, but just as this last winter break, we had the terrible blizzards in the East Coast. We had some students staying a couple of days longer than they really wanted to.